That being said, we'll go ahead and call the meeting order. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody tonight. We'll go ahead and get started here tonight with the approval of our minutes from our regular meeting, which was held on September 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting.
Second.
A motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from our September 8th meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved. As far as the agenda goes, the only one adjustment, we have Ann Traxler and Tammy Stuig here from Leesburg County Emergency Management. So if it's all right, I'd like to move them up after the approval of the bills, just before the department heads, if that's okay. You okay with going earlier? I figured as much. All right, so with that, we'll move on to the bills, starting on page 5.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And we'll start with the Ann, Tammy, you're up. Kind of distance yourself and whatever you need to do.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm here mostly just to thank you for your participation in the food distributions that we've had. We got invited to help with the June distribution, and then the La Center food shelf was having trouble. It's a big project when we had 500 people or families go through, and so they asked if we would do the July, August, September, and now we're doing October. And we couldn't have done it without having Kurt's help and Bob's help from the police. It really makes a difference, and being that we are the county seat and having that pathway, because we have served 700 families each time. And in this COVID and in this time, it's really made a difference. And I just want to salute La Center and the City Council for allowing us to do that. And I also want to thank Chad Vasha for allowing us to use the fairgrounds as well. It really makes a nice flow. We had no traffic accidents, and that was wonderful. So we're here mostly just to say thank you, and we appreciate your help. And October is our last one. Due to inclement weather, it's outside. It's just very hard. And then Tammy, did you want to say something about
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys in advance. As you know, Leesburg County is doing a flu shot drive-through the 19th and 26th of this month. So thank you for allowing your police department to help us out with that again, and also your city department.
Thank you, ladies.
Do you have any questions for us?
So you said it started in June?
Yes,
So roughly around 3,500 families then?
exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really nice, and it's done in a couple hours. People come a couple hours early, and we've usually started at least an hour early. And we've had about 35 to 40 volunteers each time. Most of them have been from the food shelf here, and then also employees from the county. So, but without the volunteers, we couldn't do it either. But thank you so much for your help. And it's always nice to have everybody work together. I think that's the best thing with this COVID and everything. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you guys for doing that.
Everything your team does, and we appreciate
Have a good
it.
evening.
Hey, Ann, I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
It's not in regards to that, it's in regards to, I was at a meeting with you, I think it was a couple months ago or a year ago, and you talked about the flood insurance and how it would be beneficial to the city to be on the flood insurance coverage. And we did approve that.
Correct.
I just wanted to follow up, like, have other cities taken that up? And
All of the cities in LeSueur County except for Montgomery and Kilkenny They're the only two that have not been
Okay.
part of that. And so if you wanted to do some hazard mitigation funding, because you belong to the National Flood Insurance Program, you would be eligible for that funding.
Really?
And if you had flooding issues when we declare, you can bring it up and we can put that forth. And if we get a federal declaration, you get 100% back of your damages, and if it is a state, you get 75% back. But it really does behoove us, it doesn't cost anything, and your residents can buy flood insurance. If you're not a part of that program as a city, your residents cannot buy it. Now, the county is part of that, so people outside the cities, they can buy flood insurance, but if you guys were not part of it, if the city of La Center was not part of it, they could not.
I just want to thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Oh, no worries. And if your home is not in a floodplain, flood insurance is actually quite cheap. If you're in a floodplain, it's a little more expensive, but that's because you probably will have something happen. But it is available in La Center.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night. All right, moving on to our department head reports, starting with the EDA, Chris.
Probably the only thing I have to report, we have not, we're still waiting for the two possible buyers of our 10 acres out there to figure out between the two of them, there's the split they want, how they want to split the 10 acres, and then we would go move forth with that and have Attorney Moran drop the paperwork, for each one. And we haven't got to that point yet. I think they're still working on, it's not going to be fully surveyed, but I think they're at least going to put the corner posts in to see where it actually lies. But the only other thing I have then is the berm is pretty much done out there. Everybody should go drive by there and look at it and see what they think of it, and if they think it needs some tweaking here or there, but basically it's done, so.
Any questions for Chris? All right, moving on to planning and zoning. Corey, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hey, Corey.
Page 17, we had a meeting a week ago. A week ago tonight, actually. Page 17 is the minutes from it. Really the only item on the agenda was a public hearing for a conditional use permit for Charlie and Vicky Mock to move in a garage to one of their properties. This one is 185 North Cordova Avenue. It's the property on the corner, it'd be the southeast corner of Cordova and Washington. There on page 18 is the sample conditional use permit. It's a sample because it hasn't been approved by you guys. It is the language that was approved by planning and zoning, though, unanimously approved by planning and zoning.
Any questions for Corey or for the Mocs who are here tonight as well? Seems pretty straightforward, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for 185 North Cordova Avenue.
A second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the conditional use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Congratulations.
Have fun moving a garage.
Hopefully you can find
We'll
somebody.
see you
to help
Saturday to
with
help.
it. All right, thanks, guys. Anything else, Corey?
Thank you. Nothing else unless you have any questions for me.
No, we're good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
Corey.
liquor report, Bradley.
All right, good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. All right, September, we had sales of $84,200.27. Compared that to September of 2019, we were at $74,479.02. So we're up a total of $9,721 in a quarter. Bar sales were down in here, about $1,300, and off sale was up just over $11,000, but obviously all in all, we were up, so that's a good thing. Our gross profit margin across the board was 36.82%, and food was 32.42%. Our year-to-date revenues, we are up $96,801.61 so far this year from last year. Our expenses are also up, $180,160. Again, like I recap every month, 31,000 of that was from our remodel that we did, and beer and liquor purchases are up 135,000, and then a little bit of squabble here and there. And then just, I guess, September in general, we had a holiday, which kind of wrapped up the summer. Otherwise, it's just kind of been consistent busy, especially in the off sale. Bar kind of, has its ups and downs, different days, but, kind of for the most part, it seems to be getting back to a semi-normal for the most part. Sundays seem to be doing pretty well so far this year with the football that finally came on TV, so there's that. Otherwise, October, the only thing that's out there is the old lovely holiday of Halloween, which I hope is able to happen more for the kids' sake than anybody's, just since they've lost so much this year. Other than that, questions, comments?
Questions for Brad at all? All right, thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Brad. Police report, Chief Farr.
Okay, so we're on page 20, activity for the month of September. We had 18 arrests, 69 complaints, 83 other activities for 170 total calls or incidents handled. Patrolled 3,409 miles. Comparison to last year. Last year we had 1,780 calls. We're at 1,238, so we're down about 30%. Miles patrolled, 23,192 last year. This year we're at 28,597, up about 23%. Working on blight, we did our use of force and training and qualification. So we've got that in place. Still waiting on our car. So that's all I really have. Moving on to page 22, where we have a policy we have to adopt, and basically the post board came up with a new use of force policy. Our previous policy was a model policy, so I just basically used their model policy. I gave it to Attorney Moran to review, and he advised that yes, this would be all right. So all I need is, I guess, okay to adopt this as a policy.
I'll make a motion to approve the use of force policy for the, pardon me?
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So I just had a question about, in regards to use of force policy, how many, being police chief in your association, how many police chiefs just go with this standardized post board? Or are there a lot of departments that actually?
Well, there's a lot of
their own
different,
departments?
because different people have different policies. Some have use different policy type things, and they write policy for them. I usually adopt the model policy, and I think in a lot of cases, there's about 16 policies that are mandated. So technically, you could just take off the post board and write that and have those as the 16 policies if that's what you wanted. So
Yeah, I just didn't know if this was standard practice or not for what we've done in the past.
they wouldn't put it out there it's mostly for probably smaller agencies to adopt rather than trying to rewrite, or trying to write a policy
Okay.
and getting everything that they want in a policy by the law.
All right, thanks. All right, sorry.
No, there you go. I'll go ahead and make that motion to approve the use of force policy for the Lee Center Police Department.
Second.
So a motion made and seconded to approve the use of force and deadly force policy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Kurt, Public Works.
Evening, Mayor and council members. First thing I got is we had to repair a big 48-inch stormwater north of town on Cordova Avenue where it discharges into that ditch. That was all washed out, and we had to repair it. There's worm back in there. Parks, we had to close the north park early because of vandalism, so, and then we'll be working here this month here to close the rest of the bathrooms. Water, the hydrants have been flushed and winterized. And streets, we are sweeping leaves, of course, until it snows. The county is going to do some patching, just similar like MnDOT did on 99. They're going to do that on Cordova. They were going to start today, but I see they haven't started yet today. So they're going to start that this week or next week, do all the Cordova Avenue. Regarding that berm that Chris was talking about, that's done and seeded. We have to leave the silt fence up until we get established growth on there, and then we'll take it down and get rid of those weeds on this side of the silt fence. So hopefully next summer sometime. And that's all I have until we get to later on about cleanup the pool.
So the patching, Kurt,
Pardon me?
the county patching, did they
Yeah.
tell you, would it be from 99 all the way?
Yes, it was.
To north side.
That's what I was told today by the the maintenance person, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Just spray, some spray, what do you call that, Joel?
It's just more like a bituminous kind of tack coat they use.
And then they spray this, yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'd just like to comment on, now that we got sidewalk, curb and gutter in on the street, I have several comments that they thought it looked really good, a good project, even from a 90-year-old lady likes our project really well. And I haven't received too many complaints. We've received good compliments on the first two blocks here, so.
Do you know when asphalt will be put down?
Joel will tell you that, and it's real soon.
Good lead-in.
Yeah. Anything else?
The only other thing on was just
The check.
to thank and accept the donation check from the
Oh,
men's
yes,
softball.
page, excuse me, yes, Mayor, page 27. The Men's Association, Softball Association, Lee Center Men's Softball Association has donated us money for 2 new bleachers in the West Park. They've been ordered, they haven't arrived yet, but we thank them graciously for their donation.
Yeah, very generous.
Yes, very generous donation, yes. Chris, got anything to add?
We need to vote to accept that donation.
I'll make a motion to accept the donation from the LC Men's Softball Association.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the donation from the Lee Center Men's Softball Association. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Doesn't look like Dorothy's here, but everybody can see the pool report for the year. Obviously, expenses are up. We had the painting, sandblasting, we do that, we budgeted for that. Revenues were essentially non-existent, only being open for about a month. All in all, if you take a look at it, having almost zero revenue and with that planned repair,
That painting, yeah.
yeah, it really wasn't nearly as bad as the number indicates, but,
Yeah.
based on the number currently, I mean, it looks like we lost about almost $84,000, but that's not true because a lot of that's repair that was already budgeted for, so. Means that next year, hopefully, things will be in better shape and kids will be able to use it, and some of the adults, Christian, can use it. So. If you do want any other questions in regards to the pool report, I would say get with the pool committee and ask directly of them, or you can go through Chris as well. There is a proposal here, and I don't know, were we in a position to actually accept this proposal for repair, or where are we at with the insurance claim, or?
You know what, I don't know any of that, and I thought we were trying to get a second bid that we were supposed to have by today. I don't have anything, so I would not recommend accepting this bid at this time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say we'll table this then until further information is available.
Is this something, do you know, Chris, is this something that if we were coming up here that would be done before the year end or in the
I don't know,
spring?
I haven't been involved in it, I haven't talked to anybody.
I was told to open up the pool and take this guy around and show him the floor. And this proposal would be done, you wouldn't do it right now because of cold weather. It'd be done in the spring when the weather reaches around 50 degrees or 45, 50. If you accept it, you have to get on there, soon so that he doesn't take other work, but whatever. And that's what this one says. Then he assured us that he could do it before the pool opened. He's done the new pool in Waseca. I call it new yet. I think maybe it's 10 years old or whatever, maybe less. But anyway, they had to redo their new floor over there in Waseca. And they hired this man to redo it for them, this company. And he did a really, really super job, because I know the public works man over there in Waseca, though I didn't go see it. And he knew exactly what he was looking at when I took him around. So he was very knowledgeable and said he could do a wonderful job for us. That's all I know, Chris.
Thank you, Kurt.
I think we're still waiting on some insurance
Yeah,
stuff
another
with
bit.
that too, so. All right, Joel, you're up, engineers report.
Alrighty, so the update on the street project is we're still doing utilities on Park Avenue north of Bowler, getting up the Spores intersection there. Bituminous pavement will be coming in on Thursday if the weather holds, and they'll most likely get all the way up to Bowler is anticipation. Out here on Tyrone and Clark intersection, that will be brought up to wear course, so there won't be a seam there whatsoever. It'll be plowable. Also, the storm sewer on Washington will be all the way brought up the final wear course. Park Avenue will have just the base course, and then the following year the wear course will come on, so that'll be drivable. And then also later this week they'll be moving moving north with sidewalk and driveways, hopefully getting all the way to Bowler on that stuff as well. So.
Where have they figured out where they may end for this season yet, or no?
Not yet. It looks like they're basically going to be ending right there on Spores. They're going to get west Spores, west of Park. That whole intersection will be completed yet this year. They do have extra time. They'll probably move north up on Park, north of Spores would be the goal. The issue with trying to drive through the grass area, we got that rain, and then it made it kind of muddy. They're keeping that intersection, Spores and Park, open as best they can. It is passable. I've seen vehicles passing through there today, so they're cognizant of it, and they're making sure that people get through on a daily basis.
Okay.
I need some design issue here, and it's dealing with Spores, and it's with that high-pressure gas line. We did some potholing to find the location. It's basically right underneath the existing curb line at about 36 inches, which is going to make removing that existing curb a tricky issue, but then replacing the new curb on top of that is within their zone. They want hand dug. So I'm here tonight requesting a design option after talking with the project committee. My suggestion is that we leave the north curb in place and we move the south curb 1 foot north. So that'd give us a 35-foot face-to-face curb opening. And what that gives you, instead of 36-foot face-to-face, would give you 2 8-foot parking lanes and 2 10-foot driving lanes down the center. By going to 35, we're knocking down the parking lanes to 7.5 as opposed to 8, and still maintaining the 10-foot drive lanes. So it still allows parking on both sides, and it allows for the new curbing gutter to be put in on the south side. Also the catch basin that we propose to put in on the south side as well. Usually the back of the catch basin sits right behind back of curb, and it would almost be impossible to put in where that high pressure gas line is.
So you're talking about making it wider or narrower?
A little bit narrower, a foot narrower.
Foot narrow.
Yep.
Which side are you taking the foot from?
The south side, to get further away from that gas line.
Okay.
Do you think that would impede traffic at all?
No, no.
And
So I
that-
measured my car mirror to mirror, it's like just short of 6 foot. So it still gives you a 1.5 foot if we're down to 7.5. Now people might park not real close to the curb, you get the bigger vehicles, that might be a bigger issue, but I don't even think that's gonna be an issue even if it's 36 face to face.
I mean, Spores, the problem with Spores is the baseball games that are there.
Junior high.
And the vehicles that are parked there, and it's, well, the half foot ain't gonna make a difference, but It's gonna be tough getting down there, I mean, even at the regular width, so.
Even at 36, correct. So that high-pressure gas line, 700 PSI, the car tires are usually 65. That's 700, that's a 3-inch line going through there, and it just, I wouldn't want to be a contractor out digging around that even close.
Didn't they already hit it?
That was not the high pressure.
Oh,
They hit it, oh, we'll know.
Is, what does that do for our sidewalk?
I'd still say sidewalk goes on behind back the curb, just like we had proposed before.
Okay. And them trees along there can stay then?
The trees could stay.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
so do we need a vote on that, or just general direction to go forward with it, or?
I guess I'm just asking for general direction, it's, but.
Doesn't probably add any cost to the project.
No, actually, it might be a cost savings with the less aggregate. Usually you put in curb and gutter, you usually have to go about 1.5 feet, 2 feet behind to get it in. So this actually will reduce that extra aggregate cost and also for that.
Okay.
I think it makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. I got one last item for you, and it's the trees dealing with the park on the east side of the ball field there between the nursing home and the ball field. Always thought they were on city property. Kurt and I went and marked them up. I went on to Beacon and kind of looked to get a visual, and it's so tight I can't really determine that, and it doesn't sound like we've ever done any survey to figure out the east property line there along the park. So it wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be, and there's going to be a little bit more cost to getting that property line staked, just to make sure those trees are on city property. Otherwise, we can just leave them. They're not part of the project. Kurt and I are just being a little bit proactive, thinking they were dying off anyway, get them taken down part of this project at a cheaper cost, but they don't need to. I guess so what I'm asking is, do we want to leave there's 10 pines there. Want to leave them in place and not have to incur the extra cost to get a survey done for the east boundary?
Isn't that a nice break between the ball field and the nursing home?
It is, and that's probably, like I asked Kurt, I mean, they probably want them there just for the shield, but.
Someday they're gonna come rotting out and come down on somebody, then we'll have to know whose they are. But if you wanna wait till then and figure out whose trees they are. Yeah, they're no,
That's not even been sold yet, has it? Carl's,
oh, I don't know about that. The trees have no,
They're not real much of a shielding
there
type
ain't
thing.
no
There's-
shield or nothing there, Nathan.
There's 2 rows right now. The one row, we'd only be taking out the one row, so there'll still be another row there that's, I'm almost certain is on their property.
Yeah,
I guess I'd be just under the assumption leave them be as is, and then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Sure. And we got time next year too. If they change your mind or things change, we can
look at
definitely.
it, yeah, look at it.
Yeah, we'll walk by and take a
You'll
look at
You'll
it.
see it.
Okay. Very good. Thank
Because I'd
you.
like to keep as many trees as we can in town.
Well, these ain't much, they're just, you'll look at them and see, you'll look at them.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
all right, thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Next, we have the public forum. We're going to have emergency management here. Anybody else from the public that isn't already on the agenda willing to come forward or wishing to come forward, they're more than welcome to do so.
Can I do my thing?
Are you here for the?
Nope, she's on the
Oh,
agenda.
sorry,
You're already
am I on there? Okay.
Yeah, so-
I don't have a sheet.
Okay,
You
sorry.
made the list.
So you're good to go.
Lori,
You're
give her.
important. You're on the agenda. All right, so without having that, let's move on to the next one then, under old business. Last month, we had an update on the old schoolhouse up at the fairgrounds up there, and a pretty lengthy discussion about it. And so the committee went back, started talking to the Fair Association and Lewisburg County Historical Society, and came up with a solution to essentially come up with a lease, a 99-year lease to the Lewisburg County Historical Society for that building and the contents of the building, and I believe there was a second building, correct?
We added the Old Settlers building also to the language
Correct.
of,
So the old Settlers building as well, so this would basically transfer the lease over to the Historical Society. The city would still remain ownership of the land underneath the facility, However, the Historical Society will take over the project as far as the renovations, the upkeep, the management, and everything else that goes in hand with that. Bill, I think you talked to Attorney Moran about all this?
I did.
Chad, did you?
Oh, I never talked to the attorney, I talked to Mr.
He talked to me.
Okay.
He met with me, and we talked on the phone at least once, I think, and once I found out Historical Society was willing to take this all on, that's when I talked to you and Attorney Moran, and
Okay.
he went ahead and drew this up. This would relinquish any city ownership in the schoolhouse, if we have any or not. It doesn't matter. It would relinquish any, and the same with the old Settlers Building, and give the Lesueur County Historical Society a 99-year lease for them to sit on the property that they're on. The city would retain ownership of the property, but Attorney Moran, who couldn't be here tonight, did send me a quick email, and he wanted me to present this. There isn't a whole lot to this agreement. The Historical Society gets both of the buildings. We keep the land underneath them. They are responsible for the buildings and can't impede the use of our land in any way. They must insure them, maintain them, and are fully responsible for them. They can't move them without our permission, can't add on to them, have no control over the land whatsoever. Finally, if they dissolve or become inactive, the buildings automatically revert back to us. It's a pretty easy and crisp deal.
And were you guys able to see the agreement?
Probably not till tonight, they haven't.
Oh, okay.
No, I've not seen the agreement, but what Mr. Collins said would be very agreeable to the society, and we would certainly cooperate with the Agriculture Society, and as we have in the past. And I would like you to know that the contents of the school do belong to the Historical Society right now. So, and the building was quite arbitrary, actually. You have it as a donation to the city, and we saw articles where it was a donation to the Agriculture Society and the Historical Society together. So I'm glad to see you clearing it up, and I think this will work very, very well.
Everybody good then? Jerry?
Is that good for the fair too?
Yeah, so, my understanding, we're no longer have to insure it, or it's going to be up to the Historical Society, or are we still involved with the Historical Society, with the verbiage, with the lease?
So if the Historical Society would be responsible for insuring the building.
Because as of right now, we insure it.
Okay.
I guess that almost in the end, that's between you guys, I think. I don't think that it states in here who has to insure it, but I think it just more says the city does not have to. So, whatever you gues work out.
So it'll be left up. I didn't know if we got to come back to you guys. You guys are washing your hands, and then it's just between us.
Yeah.
To move forward.
Same with you guys still, have your old office inside the Settlers Building there. This agreement, I talked to Attorney Moran today, it doesn't impede on that, your ownership-ish of that end of the building whatsoever. You guys still have to work your end out and work
We still
together.
own the shell of the building,
Yep.
we just
We're
have the
just-
block cabinet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, ultimately what it really does is it cleans up a lot of stuff
Unknowns. Yep.
that was out there, particularly with the amount of donations that you guys are receiving. Having that not being operated and managed by the City of Lee Center is the best solution. It should be operated by your organizations. So, best of luck. Everybody's excited. I mean, nothing but positive things that we've heard about it. What we had last month was a lengthy discussion. It was by far not a hurdle trying to put that in the way of what all the hard work that was done to move forward on this project. We just wanted to make sure it was more of a cleaner version, less more from a legal standpoint cleaner, and this takes care of that. So, with that, we'll go ahead and I'll call for a motion in a second, or any objections to basically consider and approve the land lease agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the land lease agreement.
I second.
So we have a motion made and seconded to approve the land lease agreement. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, all cleaned up.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Item B is the COVID CARES Act discussion update from the committee. I'm going to pass that on to Chris because him and his department have been doing all the legwork on the majority of this.
I put a sheet in front of all of you on the table. I just did this today. It's you know, it's just kind of a quickie to let you know where we're at. The COVID, what we've spent so far, we have to give monthly reports back to the state. So you can see the top three there. Those, you know, without getting into too much detail, there's lots of hand sanitation, masks, and stands is what almost all that stuff is. So thank you guys. So those, and there isn't, so you can see we've only spent about 11,000 on top there so far of our 190,000. The next section is some of the anticipated expenses yet to come. Some things, I met with Mayor Frederickson and Councilman Hintz tonight. We talked about the City Hall property technology upgrade, laptops, all that. I do have two bids. They're both right around 90,000. So even though we haven't accepted one yet, I'm just throwing that. It's going to be about 90,000. A couple of electrostatic sprayers and solution. They're nice office ones that you could just walk around and they spray a mist. They'll be great for in the office. We talked also up there with, at the front there before the meeting, we had a meeting up there, talked about City Hall and properties. We're gonna, you know, touchless bathroom facilities. I have paperwork out to 2 local plumbers. Neither one has got back to me yet. I think we got a little,
we're estimating about 25,000.
I'm gonna estimate about 25,000. Okay, City Hall utilities payment box, and we're going to put on it out in front of the City Hall there where people can drive up at the curb and just throw it in the box, not even have to come into City Hall then. That will save on some germ spread. 3 chrome stanchion posts with 7-foot retractable belts so we can get rid of the orange cones and the police tape in the front. It'll look just like them except they're going to actually be nice. It's about $400. The Muni store, an auto coin changer dispenser. Do we have that yet? We got it already. Okay, so that's on there. Again, not having to handle money exchange back and forth is kind of a big thing for us here for staff. And there's always going to be more miscellaneous hand sanitizers, stands, mask shields, plexiglass barriers. I had someone come in today and look at Debbie's front desk area. I'm going to have a price within a week for sure on redoing her front window there a little bit. It's not going to be too expensive, I don't think. And of course, the citywide junk throwaway on Saturday, October 24th. That's being advertised just about everywhere. And we don't have a price. We were estimating again about 15 to 20-ish for that. So that's kind of, after not having very good updates for so far, that's where we're at, a snapshot of where we're at right now.
And then potentially an additional about 20,000 for defibrillators for city buildings, so the pool, the ballparks that have structures that can, you know, protect those devices, City Hall, of course, the Muni, and the library as well. So we'll keep working on that, but that's kind of where we're at on those funds.
Yeah.
So we're dwindling them away, but they're all going towards valuable resources, which is very important thing. So, all right, thanks for the update on that. Item C, just to announce our final budget public comment hearing in regards to the 2021 budget. Is set for Tuesday, December 8th at 7 p.m. here at the council chambers. If anybody has any questions, concerns regarding the 2021 budget and or levy, they can call or mail comments or bring information into City Hall. We prefer calling or mailing to limit person-to-person exposure. However, you can send that here to City Hall, 10 West Tyrone, or you can call City Hall here as well and forward that stuff on to Administrator Collins and our staff. Under new business, we have item A. We've done this every year since I've been mayor. And the information is on page 37 if you want to read as to what it's about, but it's recognizing National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. And the proclamation is, whereas Infants Remembered in Silence, Inc., IRIS, and many other nonprofit organizations work with thousands of parents all over Minnesota and across the United States who have experienced the death of a child during pregnancy, through early childhood, and whereas many of these parents live in, deliver in, have a child die in, or bury a child in our community. And whereas Infants Remembered in Silence, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, was founded in 1987 to offer support, 33 years ago, to offer support for parents whose child or children died from miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, malar pregnancy, stillbirth, neonatal death, birth defects, sudden unexplained death of a child, sudden infant death syndrome, illness, accidents, and other types of infant and early childhood death. And whereas bereaved parents around the world remember their children annually on October 15th with a candle lighting at 7 p.m. Some will remember their children in their homes, while others will remember them in small gatherings around the state, across the nation, and around the world, and will unify these parents in tribute to their children. And whereas in 1988, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed October as National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and whereas in honor of thousands of children that die each year in Minnesota, Infants Remembered in Silence Incorporated respectfully requests that October 15, 2020 be recognized as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Lee Center, Minnesota, this mayor and council does hereby recognize, proclaim October 15, 2020 as Pregnant and Infant Loss Remembrance Day in the City of Lee Center. Josh Frederickson, Mayor of the City of Lee Center. Okay. So item B here is to consider moving the November regular council meeting to Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m. I believe Chris sent that information out to everybody prior, and the reasoning for it. So was there any objections to that?
Thank you, guys.
Hopefully everybody can make it. I did include in the packet on page 39 my why from the county, the Carroll. They just don't have the time to get us our results back for us to canvass the election, and it's in there. So I hope everybody can make it that Thursday, November 12th. We need to do that by a vote.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve changing the regular council meeting for November to Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m.
Second.
So it's motion made and seconded to move our regular council meeting to Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Finally, Wendy. Okay.
Last but not least.
So, we have a special event permit to use the street, not close the street, right?
Correct.
For the Flamingo,
We're calling it the Flamingo Lean.
okay?
Fun run and 5K.
And this is your fundraiser for your breast cancer
Susan
walk.
J. Coleman, yeah.
So there's two maps. Can you?
So we're gonna do, I believe it's a half mile for children and 3.2 or whatever 5K is for adults,
Okay.
18 and over. We have a liability form that they're signing, or the parents are signing when they, we're gonna have a table where they kind of check in. That way we can also keep numbers. We can keep track of numbers, because we know our limit is 250.
Right.
So we're asking everybody to wear masks. We have 2 different time frames for the 2 different races, hoping that people will stay distanced. So yes, there are 2 different maps. We have 17 volunteers that are gonna kind of help with safety, especially for the kids, or busy intersections. We sort of are adapting what people do at the Breast Cancer 3-Day, and they often will have either police or volunteers at intersections. So, plus not all of the roads have sidewalks. So we are gonna put up cones the morning of, probably around 6, I think we're gonna start. And we're gonna go to all the roads that don't have sidewalks and put like a couple feet. And then, every 10 feet, we're gonna put a cone for that block. And to make it as safe as we can for everybody. And we chose the route we chose for the kids, knowing there was gonna be a sidewalk there. So that the only potential hazard would be the intersection. So it would sort of be up to whoever is on that block, being like the crossing guard, to either ask a vehicle to wait or have the kids wait at that block. It would be up to them to be the adult decision maker at that moment. Yeah.
So this is on the 31st?
Correct, the
Okay.
morning of the 31st. Yeah.
Do you need any assistance from law enforcement?
That would be much appreciated, yes. We also asked the ambulance if they would be available in case there were any injuries. From what I understand, that they'll both be available if they're able.
Okay. Do you want anything with the fire department at all?
It wouldn't hurt. I thought about, I haven't done it yet, but I thought about, because we have to limit numbers. So my thought was, I don't want too many people coming if they're not needed. So my thought was I was gonna email the fire department or call them or whatever and just kind of see, like, have them as a secondary rescue truck if the ambulance is out on a call, maybe?
Sure.
For first aid if someone gets injured.
The last time there was a run, Alyssa did that, Gibbs that time. And I know that the fire department, we helped close down streets as people came by and things like that. So think about just what you might need from the organizations. Fire department wise, you can get in touch with Scott.
Yep.
And then Bob for the police, and I'm sure Stan and Tammy can help you with the ambulance. So we can work with you on that. So.
Wonderful. The one thing that I actually, we kind of talked about, I don't know, I heard you mention that the North Park bathrooms are closed.
Yes, yep.
Would it be possible to have them open for that morning in case someone's halfway on the road and they need to use the restroom?
It's gonna freeze.
Okay.
October 31st.
Okay.
We close most of them on October 20th.
Okay.
Because we don't have heat in them. That's just the.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is there any street department, since we're working on the streets, are there any porta potties or are they in that range?
There's a porta potty out there by the park there.
Is there?
That will be open, I'm sure.
Okay. We just thought we would ask because it's kind of along the road.
It's just an
and
idea.
You never know.
Yeah.
The kids won't go that far, so. And we're not really having any attractions that would keep people around.
Okay.
We're kind of hoping when the one race is done, people that are done with that kind of clear out, and then the second race will start, and so hopefully. We're also keeping, we haven't gotten to the point where we had to turn anybody away, but we already have numbers kind of in our head about if our race numbers get too high, we'd have to politely turn people away and say, we need to keep the crowd numbers down. But
Can I say, from what I know in the past, the fire department volunteers should not be 250.
Okay.
So fire department.
Yeah, it should be just participants.
Just participants.
Okay.
Yep. So if ambulance is set up and fire department scattered, even if they come and go from one central location from the park, they're not part of the 250.
Okay, good to know.
Essential.
We do also have a little flyer that we made up. I don't know if you want to see any of it, but we're going to go around about a week before and just kind of notify the houses that are on the route, let them know, hey, this is what's going to be going on. Hopefully it won't be noisy. However, if you want to cheer on anybody, wonderful. We'd love to see you up there at Susan G. Komen. They have what we call cheer stations, and people come out and they just root for you because it's breast cancer and people wear pink and it's kind of a known thing that, in that pink bubble that we have, that it's a positive, happy, uplifting feel to it. And so if anybody wants to, they can either decorate outside their house, or they could, cheer people, sit on their front stoop and cheer people on as they go by.
I think it's a great event, so it's good to me. Let us know what we can do to help.
Awesome, thank you.
Any hurdles? I don't know. If you need any barricades or anything, no, you're not really cutting down streets, but if you need any barricades.
They already contacted.
Okay, so they're turning on.
Traffic cones, the big thing on the couple of roads that don't have sidewalks.
All right, sounds good. I suppose we should approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the special event permit for October 31st for the Flamingoween Kids Fun Run.
Second.
We got a motion made and seconded to approve the special request for use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Have fun.
Yeah, I hope so. We've had a lot of positive feedback from people willing to volunteer.
It's a good cause.
Again, saying like, we don't really have much to do on Halloween, I'm not letting my kids go door to door, so it kind of gives them something to look forward to. So, and we will be handing out little goodie bags at the end.
Good. All right, thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
All right.
Third twin.
Is there to have a mask?
I'm sure Corey will be there.
Signed up already.
That'll be your fourth race of the day. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Josh was thinking about it.
You can do it. It's a walk run. You could do both. Walk a little, run a little.
You should give them a half price beer tickets at the end.
We are getting a coupon from Ultimate Boost that you'll get when you finish, and you can get $1 off of a tea or shake or whatever, so.
Wasn't approached.
All right, let's move on to the last item here then. The ever-waiting City Center Residential Cleanup Day, which was originally supposed to take place back in late spring, early summer. Obviously, for COVID reasons, we had to delay it and come up with alternative means on doing it. And so what we're going to be doing this year is instead of having a mass come deliver your stuff down by the city garage, we've been working with Waste Management, I believe, Chris?
Yep.
To set up a program that on October 24th, which is a Saturday, residents who live in the city can come to City Hall prior to, by Monday, so by the 19th, you have the rest of this week basically, and then on Monday, you come to City Hall here, get your name registered on the list. The fee is going to be $25, and outside of your homes, you can place any general junk, not garbage, but junk, so household junk and so forth. No bigger than a 10 by 10 foot pattern or a floor plan, if you will. This is just for residential customers. It's not for any non-residential contractor business or anybody outside the city of Lee Center. So non-hazard household waste junk. So furniture items, so couches, chairs, mattresses, tables, things like that. Remodeling materials, small amounts like siding, dried out paint cans, drywall, carpet. Again, 10 foot by 10 foot junk would be accepted. Items should be boxed if capable, bagged or contained in some manner, and put underneath 40 pounds or they will not be taken. There will be no loads of loose shingles or tires accepted. Unacceptable items, anything containing asbestos, no batteries, all right? Chemical products, no fluorescent tubes or light bulbs, no hazardous industrial infectious wastes, liquid waste, paint thinners, paints, removers, that's wet paints, oil rags, okay, radioactive materials, tires, yard waste, so no grass clippings, trees, shrubs, things like that, or electronics or appliances. So just if you got junk at home, you know, end tables, all that crap, then you can put that out there. So hopefully people use it and realize the amount of work that Tara really put into putting this together. She was instrumental in getting this done. And if it goes off very well, and depending on the dollar amount, it may be something to consider in the future as well, versus our old way of doing things. So this is definitely a safer way of doing it. All right. With that, I will entertain a motion.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone.